Welcome back, my foraging friends. How we all doing today? We got another wonderful day here today and another wonderful video that I'd like to give you an opportunity to discover a vegetable or pod that I look forward to every summer. Now, for those of you new to my channel, this is Skelly Bynature. I am Skelly and friends. We got a Mookie here and a Hades floating around. And so today's video, like I said, I'm going to introduce you to something that I look forward to. It's late summer here. We have, so many things that are starting to develop, foraging wise. I mean, this is like prime season for foraging. There's so many things out there. But one of my favorite things that I love to forage this time of year is milkweed pods. Now, many of us know what milkweed is. We've seen it. There's many different times that you can actually eat different parts of the milkweed, as far as, in the beginning with the stalk and the stems, and then as far as, you can forage the flowers. But for me personally, I like to wait, and then after it stops flowering, the milkweed will produce a pod. And I will show you in a little bit what that pod looks like. But I'm going to show you today the pod and how to prep it and how to use it in cooking and how to make a wonderful side dish with milkweed pods. So stay tuned, and I'm going to take you on a little foraging trip. Okay, so here we are. I'm actually sitting out in front of my neighbors, who they have kind of a little bit of a wild patch out in front of them. And the nice thing about it is they have a bunch of milkweed. And so as you can see, that's the milkweed pod we got right there. And that's what we're looking for, is these green pods. As you can see, they come in a nice group. They got kind of a little hairy spine on them. Okay, and these are about 2 inches. Now, what we're looking for is we're looking for those pods, but you want to get these pods when they're kind of in the young state. We don't want ones that have been developed too much, because then they become very stringy and not very edible. So we're looking for young pods. And as you can see on this one plant here, we have a few pods, a grouping there. We get another grouping up there. So like I was telling you earlier, there's a lot of parts of milkweed that are edible at different times of the year. And one reason why I like to wait until the pods is because the pods are very, as you can see, easily distinguishable. And the other problem, if you're going to, say, try to go for the stalk and the stem and the leaf, which is also edible, you can get it mixed up with another plant called dogbane, which you don't want to do that, because dogbane will actually make you sick. So that's one reason why I like to wait until the pods come out. It's a little better for beginner forages to see. These are very distinctive, and dogbane doesn't have this. And more experienced foragers, they'll know the difference between dogbane and milkweed. So like I said, you don't want to get them crossed up, because they do look very similar. As you can see right here, this is regular dogbane right in here, and it's exactly the same. The leaf formation, everything about it, the only difference really is one has kind of a milky hollow, stalk and the other one doesn't. So again, that's the difference between dog bane and milkweed. So what we're looking for is, so one, when you come across the patch like this, like I said, you want to pick the younger ones. The smaller ones are better than the ones that are, been matured. Like I said, as it matures, it starts to seed out on the inside. We want a soft. So what we're looking for is a soft. You can actually take and feel the belly. See how squishy that is. See. And then there's some that you're gonna get that are real firm. See, this is nice, and see how soft that is. So what we want is a nice soft belly, not a hard stiff belly. And the other thing too is, when you do pick these, try to find a couple of the plants so that way you're not picking all the pods off. We do want to save some of these pods. Their butterflies love these pods. Plus, we want to allow, the plant to regenerate, and so that way you can come and pick some more the next year. And so, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick some of these pods, and I'm gonna bring them back into the kitchen, and I'm gonna show you guys what to do next. Okay, so I'm back in the kitchen, and as you can see, I got my pods. Now, the first step that you want to do is cut off the tops. As you can see, I got the top all cut off where the stem is, and there's going to be a hard little curl on most of them, because when you do pick them, they are together like that. So cut that middle piece out. And so the first step we're going to do is we're going to give these guys a quick blanch. This is something you want to do, especially if you haven't had these. They can be known to cause some stomach pains. So if you've never had them before, it's a good advice to blanch them a little bit, and they help digest better. I just like to blanch them anyway, because I tend to eat too many of them. So our first step is, as you can see, I got some boiling water, so I'm going to dump these in the boiling water, and I'm just going to let these blanch for 2 minutes. Okay, so now as you can see, I've got them blanched. You see how they kind of split a little bit? That's it. That's okay. With some split, some didn't. So now my next step is, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of make a mixture, a coating that we're going to put up, let these sit in. So I get 2 eggs. Just give that a good beating. So I'm going to go ahead and throw these right in the bowl. So this mixture I'm making is going to be, like I said, I get 2 eggs, just mixing it up. And then I'm going to add I had 2 tablespoons of melted butter. And I'm going to top it off with a little bit of milk. So in goes my 2 tablespoons of butter and some milk. And give that all a good mixing. So now I'm going to try to lay these as flat as possible, because what we want to do is we want to kind of marinate these in a way. We're just going to pour this right over them, and we're just going to mix it in. And we're going to let that sit for, anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. We're going to let this soak up any of this mixture. Now I'm going to come over, because as this happens, you're going to see that the butter's going to start to harden again. So I'm going to come through, and then what I'll do is I'll mix it, every 15, 20 minutes or so. And I'm going to let this sit, so I'll see you guys in a couple hours. Okay, so now it's been roughly about an hour and a half. I've had mine sitting in that mixture. And right now I just turned my stove on medium. And I am going to be getting some oil heated up. So get yourself a good frying pan, a good sized frying pan. So once again, like I said, I've got a good sized frying pan. Again, this is another recipe that I like to have everything flat in my pan. I don't like to keep things on top of each other. So while this is heating up, I'm now going to be making our coating or our mixture or our breading. So I have a couple real good pinches of some curry powder. I'm going to throw that in there. I'm going to throw a little, like a tablespoon of paprika. Throw that in there. A couple pinches of salt. A couple shakes of some pepper. And then you can use whatever cornmeal breading, whatever you want for breading. I'm using panico. And then for my secret, I had the panico, and then for the I use the same amount. So the amount of panico I had, I'm going to use the same amount of my secret recipe, my secret ingredient. And this is frosted mini wheats. I just took them and bashed them up, smashed them all up real nice and small and fine. Give this a good mixing. So there, I got that all mixed up nice. Now, the next step is I'm going to take these out and I'm going to throw them in the mixture. Now the other thing I do is as you can see, I just kind of scrape some of that butter that got all mixed up again, that started to gel up, and I'm going to throw that in there too as well. Why waste it? So once you got a nice coating, put them right in. So now we're going to let these sit for a little while, a few minutes. We're going to give them a little flip over and just keep cooking them until they're nice golden brown. So as you can see, I get a nice browning going. So now I'm going to flip these over. Okay, so these are pretty much got some nice color on both sides, as you can see. So my next step is I'm just going to take a paper towel, pull them out, throw them on a paper towel and a plate. I'm going to throw those off to the side. Now as you can see, I get a nice big thick pork chop cooking over here, nice and slow. So I'm going to finish that off and I'm going to pair it up with those. And voila, there we go. There's a beautiful plate, little pork, little bit of milkweed pods, and I used the egg mixture that I was using, threw it in the pan, soaked up the rest of the other good flavors, and just made a quick omelet. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little something. I hope you go and explore. Get yourself some milkweed pods and try something new. And I hope you guys do me a favor. Hit that like button. Share this video with all your friends. As well as subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys at the next video.